Hello. Welcome once again to Off the Shelf Books on Tour. We have a returning author today, much to my delight, Mr. Paul Czajak. Welcome.
Thank you.
You brought us Monster Needs a Costume last fall.
Last fall in September.
Yes. Yes. And what a delightful experience that was. And where haven't you been since then?
Where haven't I been?
Yeah. Get to stay home much?
Oh, sure. No, I mean, I've done a couple of school visits and a few library signings. So it's been busy working that into my actual work schedule. So. But it's been a lot of fun.
And the book has been very well received.
Yes.
How many awards have you gotten?
Oh, gee. Well, I've only gotten on Monster Needs a Costume. It won the Mother's Choice Award, which is
not a bad.
It's if you want someone to like a picture book, it's Mother's.
Yes.
So I'm good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And all the while you've been polishing off the new book.
Yes. Monster Needs His Sleep. It just came out in this past April 15th, so it's available now.
Was it as exciting for the second book as it was the first?
It was.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, it's always nice to see another book, your book come out. So we didn't have the book signing that we did the first time. But
That's old hat now?
Well, no. I mean, now school visits are getting in the way. It's weekends are getting filled.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering, when you wrote the first one, the concept, you got it off the ground, and for people who didn't see the interview, you are a chemist.
Yes.
At your college, you were told, don't bother.
Yes, I was.
So you chemisted for 20 years,
Yes.
and then you started to write, and you're the luckiest young author I've ever met.
Oh, good.
And your launch went off well, and your book's well received, and children and parents identify with it. When you were writing the first one, it was sort of like the little engine, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, voila, you did.
Yeah.
How hard is it to fit writing the second one into the busy life?
Well, I always can find time to write. That's actually kind of easy because once I put the kids to bed or after dinner or whatever, I can just sit down and start writing and take an hour or 2 hours out of my day and just write. So that's actually the easy part. The hard part is now, like I was saying, school visits want you to come and libraries and daycares and then book fairs and all these things, and it's really tough to actually work that into your schedule.
And pick and choose, because everyone is important.
It is. You never want to say no.
Especially when it's well received, because every 16 of separation, one makes another connection. Yeah. Your illustrator is marvelous. Absolutely marvelous.
She is.
She's in California?
She's out in California. Hopefully I may get to meet her.
You haven't met her yet?
I haven't even met her yet.
Well, that was my question. She seems to interpret your words.
She does.
You do telepathic.
She is just really good at, we've connected via writing. It is really what it is.
So you
she
send
gets
her
my
the
writing.
words?
Oh, my publisher does.
Okay. And then they send you the pictures?
No, I don't get to see the pictures.
You never get to see the pictures?
I'll see a picture here and there, but it's already done. It's done. Oh. Yeah, I don't get to see anything until
you don't have any
complete.
Approval on the interpretation?
No.
But she does such a wonderful
She did a great job. There's no complaints on my end.
And you've never met her?
Never met her.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'll be going to the ALA, which is the library, a librarians association. It's in Vegas this year, which is kind of nice, which is really kind of ironic for a children's book.
Takes you places you never thought you were
children's
going to
book
go.
conference in Vegas. That was kind of funny. But I believe she'll be going, and I'll be able to finally actually meet her.
So does she illustrate for your publisher or for you?
Well, the publisher hired her for this particular
Okay.
book.
Okay.
I don't know if she's illustrating other books at this point, because she's actually pretty busy with
Disney and,
with
other,
Monster.
she's in, I think you really, really, truly lucked out.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it couldn't happen to a nicer fellow
Oh,
as far
thank
as
you.
I'm concerned. How do you fit work into your schedule now? Have you become famous at work?
No, I haven't.
They
I
don't
haven't.
even know about you because they're not children?
A couple of my friends know. They have kids, and so they've picked up the book. But other than that, no. I mean, it's
Same old, same old?
same old. Get to work.
Uh-huh.
Luckily, I have vacation time, so.
Oh, good enough so you can use that day, pick a day and,
Yep.
and do 2 or 3
just-
interviews like today?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You receive fan mail, which I love.
I have.
Yeah, and pictures. The children draw you pictures. Can you possibly answer the fan mail?
I never thought of that. I could probably write back to the school. I try to do it online. Post the pictures, and then because that's the other thing. I need permission to post the pictures and those things. I try to be careful with that.
But you wouldn't want to discourage a child from writing a thank you note.
No,
Hello.
absolutely not.
And
I love to see it. It's great.
right, and my husband used to do bee lectures, and the kids were priceless, and the thank you notes were unbelievable.
Oh, sure.
But he couldn't answer each one individually.
Sure.
So he had a caricature done of a bee in a beehive.
Okay.
And that was his thank you note to the class.
Oh, nice.
And it could get hung. So maybe monster
There we go.
saying thank you, and it
Yes.
could be hung in the classroom because as a grown-up, of course, you want to acknowledge that they took time to say thank you.
That's a good idea.
Because so few kids, and a thank you note means so much, doesn't it?
It does. And they would like to know that I actually got the letter.
Yes, because you're so famous.
Exactly.
And if they know somebody famous, I found a thank you note from David Brednoy last night. That had to be 30 years ago, and I was astounded. I'd almost forgotten that I had it. And it matters.
It does.
It really does, yep. So after he needs his sleep, what's the next one?
Next one is coming out in September, and it's Monster Needs a Christmas Tree. And that one it's kind of follows the same pattern where Monster, he needs a Christmas tree and they go out to buy one, but then he gets distracted. And
Is he going to have ADHD eventually?
he has ADHD. He absolutely
But
does.
that's not a bad book title, kid.
No, it's not. But he gets distracted and then ends up there are no trees left. So they got to come up with a solution to that problem, or Santa Claus may not come. So
And that'll be launched in time for Christmas?
that will be launched in September, so it'll be plenty of time for Christmas.
Will you bring it back and let us see it first?
Absolutely.
Oh, cool. Cool. I take care of my Christmas list. My grandchildren thoroughly enjoyed the first one.
Oh, good.
And they wondered if you really know Monster. They know he's not real,
Sure.
but they're amazed that you understand him so well. And I thought that was quite a compliment.
Hey. Well, I mean, Monster really kind of takes after my kids. People always ask me, "Are you Monster or are your kids monsters?" And I would say my kids are the monster, and I'm the boy. I hopefully the voice of reason.
But children lead the way.
Little children always lead the way.
Are you ever going to entertain Monster under the bed? So many children are afraid, and you dispel so many fears.
It's funny you should say that,
Okay.
actually, because in the book, I originally, there's a line in here where Monster, I'm trying to
He's
remember the
afraid
line.
and he doesn't want to admit it.
He turns around and he goes underneath the sheet, and in the place of Monster's head were Monster's furry feet. So that was the line. I originally had him going under the bed, because that's where monsters feel safe.
Oh, maybe
they feel
that's
safe
where
under
it
the
tweaked
bed.
my brain, yeah.
Exactly.
But so many children are afraid of, and if they're learning to love this guy,
Sure.
maybe he could be comforting under the bed. He never fit under my bed.
Well, that was the publisher came back and said, we already had in costume Monster diving underneath the chair. So that illustration, that image has already been done. So they didn't want to do it again. So I had to come up with the sheet line instead.
Now, what do your kids think of it?
Oh, they love it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm finally going to be actually visiting their school in June at Great Oak. So that's going to be nice.
You bring free books for everybody?
No. Free tattoos and other swag.
Yes, yes. And there's been a lot of it. You've developed now T-shirts. I was hoping I'd get a T-shirt, but of course
I should have brought one. I didn't
Yes,
think of
you
it.
should have.
I'm
You'll have to
sorry.
bring it in
I
September.
I will absolutely bring one.
As against before the first book, and now all that has come, the merchandising, the speeches and everything. Did you ever expect it to be all as time consuming as it was?
No, you don't. Yeah, you write a story and you don't think that much of it. You don't think of what it actually involves after the fact.
So you have to be a writer, businessman?
You do.
Yeah.
I've been very lucky with Scarletta. Again, you say I'm the
The
luckiest.
matches.
You say I'm the luckiest writer in the world. It actually
Paul's
goes,
got a monster in his pocket.
it goes further because the PR person that at Scarletta actually does a lot of the work for me, and that's not usual for
No, and she
children's
does it
books.
very well. I was reading
does it
over
great.
the letter that came with my book,
Yes.
and she's very personable, as if she's met me,
Yes.
as if she's known me, and that's cool.
No, it's great.
Yeah,
and
it's
she
not-
has a schedule for me. I mean, she's setting up visit. That's unheard of for picture books because they don't usually make a lot of money for the big name publishers. So they're not going to put the time and effort into giving you your own PR person. I mean,
Is she somebody's mother? Does she have kids that love the books?
I don't think she has kids.
Well, we're going to always give her a couple.
Well, you'd have to talk to my wife.
No. I rent mine out, I saw on a blog where you've gotten an award and a lady is applauding you, and she said something about free to be you and me. Did she put that in there, or are you a free to be you and me kid?
I grew up with Free to Be You and Me. Oh yeah, the
I
whole
didn't think
album.
you were that old.
Oh, well, I'm up there.
and they brought it back a couple of years ago.
They did.
It didn't catch on with this.
No, it didn't. But I thought it was a great album. I mean,
yeah.
I remember all the songs. I mean, Alan Alda was on that.
Empowered a lot of
sure.
young girls, empowered an entire generation. And when one of the songs comes up, you immediately know where it came from.
Yes. Yep.
What if they want to develop this into a stuffed animal? Would Monster ever?
I hope they do.
Really?
Oh God,
True?
I
How
hope they
big?
do. Oh, it would have to be big. I mean, it can't be a tiny one. I mean, Monster's big. He's got to be big.
In a cartoon, would you go for a cartoon?
I would absolutely go for a cartoon. Why not?
Really?
Yes. Wow. Absolutely. I think Monster has a lot of good values.
Oh, I do too, but it takes you so far away from writer.
It does. I mean, I wouldn't be writing the episodes, but it would help sell the
Turn them
books.
over to somebody else.
Well,
I would never give away my child. Although I've tried on occasion.
I don't have a choice.
So for all they've given you,
Yeah.
they still maintain quite a bit of control.
Oh yes, yes. When you sign the contract, they pretty much buy the rights to
Your life?
Well, not to my life, but to Monster's life.
Almost like a patent.
They've trademarked Monster and Me, which is the name of the series. So that's
So you're
that's theirs.
copyrighted from here to eternity.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it's in the big library in Washington,
Yes.
the Congressional.
Oh yeah, that's kind of cool.
And I love the story. Do you know where DVDs came from?
No.
We were told 100 years ago that our books, of course, in that library are disintegrating. There's
Okay.
warehouses full of them.
Sure.
So they were given this whole bunch of taxpayers' money and said, find a way of saving all these books before they deteriorate before our eyes. And it wasn't until every single book in the Library of Congress was committed to DVD.
Oh wow.
Did we, as the general public, get access to DVDs?
Well, yes, we did. I mean, we could go out and buy them. Yeah.
No, but the actual technology of how to do it.
Oh, no.
Nobody even knew it. It was like they copyrighted
Sure.
it and they owned it until the job was done. Much like the internet, people think the
now
internet was
it's-
born in '69 and the government was using it.
All the
And
books are probably now in the cloud, though, right?
Yeah,
I
oh,
mean,
good Lord, the cloud. Don't go there. I can't even get the button on. They gave me a new Kindle for Christmas, and they put the button in the wrong place, and it only takes selfies. I do not want pictures of this. I want pictures coming from
turn
the...
it around.
no, not that easy. You turn it around, and you try to focus, and you press the button. I can say I don't go well into the
Of course.
century and onward and upward. It's painful, and it takes me a very long
Yeah,
time.
sure.
I still like books. I like the tactical
Oh,
experience.
so do I.
You don't?
I don't like reading ebooks.
No.
I'm not a fan of it. I'll be honest. A book doesn't lose its charge. So when you're on a 5-hour trip and all of a sudden your iPad dies and you don't have your charger, well, then what do you do?
This
You're done.
is true.
You know, that's
And
happened a
I'd
few
rather,
times.
if I had to lose a book than an iPad.
Sure. Yeah.
At Christmas when they gave it to me, everybody, God bless them, sent me the books. My most favorite book on the whole wide world, Pokey Little Puppy.
Okay.
That was the first one got on my Kindle. So, of course, I had to read every one of them before I could write my thank you notes.
Okay.
And I found that I read 7 in one night. And I didn't retain. I didn't remember. It didn't leave an impression. It was good if I had to write a report, if I had to show up here at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
But the enjoyment, the retention just wasn't
it's just not
there.
there. Yeah.
No, and the damn thing has a mind of its own. You go to put a word in and it thinks it's smarter than
It's
me.
something else, yep.
I don't need that. I have enough trouble with spell check. Do you do it all in longhand? Do you have notes in all your pockets?
I sometimes have notes, but usually I work on my iPad when I write. I do write on everything writing-wise is electronic.
Uh-huh. And is it your iPad exclusively?
Yes, I don't let my kids touch my iPad.
How about your wife?
She doesn't want to. She has her own little laptop. I mean,
I like her already.
yeah.
And what does she think of your success? Does she get to go with you at these conferences?
Oh, sure. She's going to go to the ALA with me
Good.
in Vegas. We're going to have a little bit of a vacation there, as much as we can.
How nice.
But she recently went to an Andover. I went up to sign in at the Andover Library, and she came with me. So she helps out, absolutely.
Oh, I'm not helping out. I like to see her share the glory.
Well,
I'm glad that our libraries are doing these interviews and doing these, but which is not something they've always done.
okay.
But I think it's mutually beneficial to you as well as the library.
Sure.
Because people think that the libraries are dying because of the internet, and I find it exactly the opposite. I find they're busier, don't you?
My kids love going to the library. My daughter loves it. Yeah. So I don't see libraries going anywhere. They may change, but they're not going to go anywhere.
The one that bothers me the most is the communities that are not going to teach cursive anymore. 20 years from now, when a young person wants to research an interview,
Sure.
how are they going to read a cursive written letter?
No, that's true. It's funny because I'm torn on both sides. Because where I work, when we write reports, we used to have to print them all out, and everybody had to walk around, and everybody would have to sign them and get your signatures. Now it's all electronic. You don't sign anything anymore. It's all based on your password.
In your ID code and everything.
Yep.
But in years to come, a researcher, and I spend a lot of time doing research because I love it. I'm like a detective. It's just going to be another roadblock. I see so much history going to be lost from a generation unable to read.
Well, there'll be specialists.
Yeah, another job opportunity.
Exactly.
I am glad that you write good books.
Thank you.
Positive books. No swear words. Thank you, God. No.
I don't think that would go over well in a picture book.
No, but I watched the cartoons with the grandchildren.
Yes.
They're not respectful.
No.
No.
No, they're not. There are certain shows I'd rather not have my kids watch.
No. I use them as the basis of conversation and interaction.
Sure.
Why it offends me. Why they really shouldn't say that.
Yes.
And why I thought that was very mean of them to do to somebody else. I can see in the future Monster meeting up with a bully or being bullied.
Sure.
Because that is the end thing. Everybody's trying to, get this bully business across. And
Sure.
Yeah.
I did write, I'm not sure when it's going to come out or if it'll come out. I did write Monster Needs to Go to School, or Monster Need, I forgot the title. I've written a few. Monster Needs to Learn to Read. That's what it is. Monster Needs to Learn to Read. And he ends up going to school. And there's a little line in there about
he's different.
by standing up for with his friends against the bully. There's a
Good
line
for
in
you.
there,
Develop
so
it into a whole book. It's needed by an
that's
entire
true.
an entire generation, and the bullies themselves have been bullied over the centuries, and why they get to enjoy it, I don't get it.
Confidence. They don't have it. That's the
Well,
problem.
that's what I tell the kids, yell right back at them and they'll melt right there as long as you're afraid of them. That's what they want.
Yeah.
Or you to run and hide, and needless to say, I've never ridden and hid from anyone.
I find that shocking.
No, there are those who run from the room when I walk in, which is not a bad thing. It clears the room out. I'm glad to have Monster for a friend. And I keep it frontwards on my bookcase rather than sidewards.
Oh, good.
And when little people come in, it's one of the first things they ask me.
Oh, nice.
If they can read my book.
Good,
And,
please.
Yeah, and it makes it nice because the kids are as comfortable in my home as the parent who's, discussing something that we think is terribly important and the kids could care less about.
Sure.
And they very respectfully put it back on the shelf when they're done. And they tell me, thank you for sharing it. So when you get that population, when a kid approves of you, you get it made.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's nice. It's every now and then I'll like when Monster Needs a Costume first came out. Sometimes my kids' friends would come up and say, "So you're the one who wrote that book? You wrote that book?" And they would, and it feels cool, that they
better than a
recognize
grown-up
it.
slapping you on the back
It
saying,
does.
good job.
It does.
Yeah, that's what matters to me.
Because the kids remember the book. They know what it is.
And you touch a spot that kids are afraid of certain things. And you dare not say that out loud, or somebody will laugh at you. Or you think you're the only person that's afraid.
Sure.
Or you think you're the only person that changes their mind every time they turn around and go upside down. So it gives them, they're not alone in this world.
Right.
And somebody else actually feels that way and understands. And you can go from there. What's the best part of it all?
The best part? Seeing, I have to say, seeing my, the pride, I guess, on my kids' faces when they hear that I'm going to their school to go and talk, and they're very excited. Or when this book finally came in, and I both gave them each a copy to give to their teachers, and they were psyched. They were psyched to bring it in, and that's what it's about. So.
Do they want to grow up and be writers?
No, my daughter wants to be a cook. At least now she does. I'm sure that'll change.
Now, how old is she?
She is 6.
Okay.
And my
Good place to
my
start.
son wants to dig up gems. That's yeah. So
In
we'll
the
see where that
backyard
goes.
or in Africa?
I don't think he cares.
As long as he can dig them up.
As long as he can dig them up.
And bring them home.
Yes.
And maybe you could write a story about that.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you go to the libraries, do they put them in the library? Because I'll take mine to the Woburn Library.
Yes. Oh, yeah. If you donate it to the library, they will absolutely put it in the library. Yep.
And encourage the borrowing and the constant travel of it all.
Absolutely. And if the Woburn Library would want me to come in for a visit, I'll more than do story time.
I had thought of it. I visited with Ted Reinstein there just last week. And
okay.
They're bringing a lot. I think I met Bill Martin at my library.
Oh, nice.
And he came in, and we're hoping to have Mr. Reinstein. So, I think it's a great opportunity for you, for the public.
It is.
And for the library itself to, open another door. It's not just the library. They're sort of stepping in, walking in pace instead of the old librarian with the dark glasses.
Right. No, that's...
And be quiet.
That's not our library.
No. No. I enjoy taking the grandchildren to the library, and they immediately go to books that I would have never chosen for them.
No, that's true. My son, he loves nonfiction. And originally, when I was grabbing books for him, none of them were nonfiction. I'm not a huge nonfiction fan, but he is. And I never would have known that if he didn't go and pick out his own books.
But that's important to know that.
Is, yeah.
That's why I read the entire Harry Potter story collection, because so many children were involved in it. I wanted to know what it was. And if I walk into a room of very noisy children and I assume the Professor McGonagall pose, I got to tell you, they behave. They behave quickly.
Especially if you put the hat on.
Oh, I have the entire
yeah.
outfit. I got the white owl in the cage.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I don't mess around. Very nice to have you back.
Thank you.
Applause for your continued success.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we will reserve your time with us in September.
Absolutely.
To promote Monster Needs a Christmas Tree.
Monster Needs a Christmas Tree.
And this is Monster Needs His Sleep.
His Sleep, yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Enjoyed having you. That's it from Off the Shelf, Books on Tour, Veronica Andrews. Have a good one.